Hello, this is Greg Berzinsky for Beardbrand. I'm going to talk to you about the 6 steps that I take to keep my beard looking good. And actually, right now, it's not looking so good because I've been a month without a trim. But I want to show you how you can do a monthly trim and keep your beard looking tip-top. I think it's the responsibility of every guy who has a beard that they learn how to give themselves at least a basic trim. But it's part of the game. You own the beard, you should own some of the responsibility in maintaining it. So what are the 6 steps? Let me go over them. Step number 1, preconditioning. What do I mean by preconditioning? You're going to do this step if you're going to a barber shop, and you're certainly going to do this step if you're going to trim your beard at home. You want to start with a clean beard. I use Beardbrand beard wash on my beard to get it clean, and then I'll finish with Beardbrand beard softener to get it smooth, get all the tangles out, get all the knots out. This is my air-dried beard after washing it and conditioning it. Then the next step in the preconditioning is to use either a beard oil or a beard balm, and in our case, Beardbrand Utility Balm. You want to get the beard balm down to your skin as well as coating the hairs. This will actually just help with combing your beard, making sure it's smooth, and making sure it's ready for you to do some trimming. In my case, I'm using Utility Balm. Little dollop, emulsify in my hands. You can see it turns into a really smooth, kind of shiny paste. And I'm lubricating areas that I'm going to focus on. In this case, I will be doing some lining on my cheeks, as well as my beard, getting down into my beard. I'm also using this Utility Balm to smooth my beard over. You can see when I started, my beard's pretty puffy, naturally, and I'm going to smooth it down. Combing the product into my beard. Now, if your beard is particularly wild, your beard has a tendency to puff out, this is a step where you will take a hair dryer and actually smooth out your beard. So what I'm doing with the hair dryer and a round brush is getting rid of some of the flyaways. If you know anything about me, it's one of my pet peeves, are guys who just continue to cut off stray hairs in their beard. If you have a stray hair on your head, would you ever cut it off? No. You'd tuck it in, you'd comb it in, you'd put some water on it, you'd get it into place. Same thing with your beard. You systematically thin your beard by constantly cutting off stray hairs. So with my beard looking pretty smooth, what I want to do is go in and show you how I trim off a month's worth of beard. I have not shaved my cheeks, and I have not trimmed off anything, in particular my mustache. So step number 1, preconditioning, done. Step number 2, take evaluation. What is it that you're looking to do with your beard? It's been about 30 days for me in trimming my beard. I've been wearing it a little shorter, and I have not trimmed my mustache in the better part of a month, nor have I lined my cheeks. So for me, what I'm going to do is take off 1/2 an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch, which represents a month's worth of growth on my hair. You should get to know how fast your beard is growing, because part of this evaluation process is, hey, do I want my beard to grow and get longer? If that's the case, you might want to scratch this whole video. But if you need a trim, you want it to look fresh, take off less than 1/2 an inch. Take off 1/4 of an inch. If you're looking to get your beard a little shorter, take off more than 1/2 an inch. Take off an inch and a half. Whatever it is, take this time to evaluate your beard. And I can see on my beard, I have cheek hairs that are driving me crazy. The hair leading into my sideburns and into my hair, out of control. And lately, I've been wearing my mustache a little shorter, which I like. And right now, it's completely covering my upper teeth and most of my smile. So I want to take that up, as well as taking the 1/2 an inch off of the front of my beard. So number 2, evaluation. Number 3, length. Yes, this is the point where most guys get frightened about trimming their beards. My recommendation is to take off no more than 1/2 an inch, especially if you're unfamiliar with cutting your own beard. So let's go in and cut off 1/2 an inch on my beard. First step in trimming your length, you've evaluated your particular desire and how long you ultimately want your beard to be. Now, what is the shape that you're going to do to trim your beard? Now, there's a big debate, and a lot of this has to do with what are your preferences in the shape of your beard. Under my beard, my face is fairly rectangular, It is actually, I do not have a long extended chin. It's fairly straight across, and my jaws are actually, fairly low in the back here. So right now, my jaw under my beard is in this position, and you can actually see that my beard is following roughly the shape of my natural jaw. So I'm going to keep that. If your jaw is actually more pointed in the front and you want that to show through on your beard, then by all means follow the shape of your natural jaw. But let's say, for example, in my case, I wanted to elongate my face. I would be changing the angle of my beard, not to follow my natural jaw, but actually take the back corner up and bring it forward to longer length in the front. What that will do from the front is take off these sides and elongate the face. This is particularly good for guys who do have squared faces or round faces. By elongating the front, by trimming the sides tighter, you can get more of an elongated look overall. Here we go. I'm not going to cut through everything. I'm going to do this layer by layer. You can see that my beard has gotten a little uneven since the last time I trimmed it. First cut is the deepest. It's always frightening, even for me, and I've been doing this for the past 6 years. You'll actually get more accustomed to doing it. I'm not going to say that it's ever going to be easy to take those first snips. You notice that I continue to comb out my beard. I want to release any hairs that might be growing in wayward patterns underneath. And then I'm going to go in and take another length, combing hair forward, constantly combing through the beard, making sure that you are releasing any hairs that might be tangled or might just be growing in that wayward direction. Your beard is as long as mine. It is probably an inch or so longer than my jaw, which represents about 2 months. My beard naturally stops growing basically on my neck. Very fortunate. It's rare that I actually have to trim my neck, but if you have a particularly hairy neck, keep that in mind as part of the evaluation process of how short you ultimately want to take your beard. Constantly combing, moving the hairs around. Then take a look at yourself straight forward in the mirror. Tilt your head up. Is it straight? Side to side. You can see it's just slightly heavier right there. This is one of these things where guys say, oh, that's slightly shorter, that's slightly longer. Slightly. Don't get so wigged out about it being just slightly off. Live with it for a couple of days. You can always come back if you notice that it's particularly not even. So what if your beard is particularly wide, particularly bushy? I'm a medium textured beard, medium textured hair, so I don't actually go in and trim off a lot of my hair. If you have a particularly dense beard, you might be asking why am I using scissors? My beard, because it's not super dense, and that's probably 50% of the guys out there don't have super dense beards. I tend not to use clippers. Clippers are great if you want uniform hair taken off on your beard. So if I was going for more of a stubble beard, if I wanted a 1/4 inch beard, a 1/2 inch beard, I could just rake a clipper with a guard on it through my beard. And in my case, I actually want some of this length to get a little longer in order to cover up some of the areas that are compromised in my beard. If you know anything about me, you know that I have some patches in my beard. And I use the length of my beard to camouflage those areas. So part of length also is this area on the back. You can see this is sticking out kind of a lot. And I want to cut that off a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to push it to the back, grabbing some of the hair from the side and trimming off those hairs. If you have a second mirror, this is the opportunity to actually look at it with a side view mirror to make sure you have all those areas cut off. And go on the other side and do a similar thing. if your beard is particularly straight and looks too harsh on the bottom, you can go in and trim off a little of the hair and kind of feather it in a bit. So you can actually see when I bring my hairs and I take them up, what I can do is cut off the corners of my beard. This is a similar thing that a barber might do to you with a clipper. But this way, I treat it more like head hair. I pull it out, stretch it out if it was curlier, and able to get a straight cut that follows the shape of my face. So that's length. Trim the bottom, trim the sides. What's the next step? Number 4 would be edging. So what do we do for edging? Edging is areas, in my case, my cheeks, and I call the sideburns edging also. You might consider that length, but I'm going to do it right now as part of edging. In this case, I haven't had a haircut for a while, so I'm going to brush all of my hair out of the way. And I'm pushing all of my hair straight back. I'm going to connect the line that I had cut on the side and just trim about 1/4 to 1/2 inch off of that hair. As you get up to the ear, start making the hair slightly longer. Then what I do, that hair is basically all one length, from here on the cheek back to the back. What I will do is I will brush it forward in the opposite direction and then take a line up through here. Be careful not to get too close to your hairline, but when those hairs fall back, you have actually feathered those hairs into that. You could get the same effect by using a clipper with a guard. Edging of the beard, we did the sides related to the sideburns, now the cheeks. What do you want to do with the shape of your cheek? You may be limited on the amount of hair that you have on your cheek. Some guys' hair does not come up. They have a beard that is more neck, chin strap, keeping the hair lower. They do not have the option to actually edge because there's no hair up here. Some guys' hair, if you remember my son Victor, his hair goes up to here. So there's a lot of hair there. My rule of thumb with edging is the less you edge down into the beard, the more easy it is to maintain. So if you were constantly edging down and bringing your line down into your cheek, you can't just do that once a month. That's something that you're going to have to do 2, 3, 4 times a week if you want to keep that edge strong, particularly if you have dark hair on pale skin or if you have light hair on dark skin. So I am a big proponent of keeping the cheeks fairly natural and fairly high. I am using a straight razor, it's really a shavette. This takes a disposable blade. First thing I'm going to do, I need some lubrication on my skin in order to have the razor go smoothly over my skin. You can use a utility bar, basically a soap-like product, by taking your fingers with some water and actually just putting it on your cheeks. You can take a lather brush and make more lather if you like a lot of suds on your face. And in my case, I'm going to use the utility balm on my cheeks as a lubrication for shaving. So back to the shape of your beard. This is something where you can really change the shape of your face. Like the beard at the bottom could change your shape from more square to more angular and pointed, you can do a similar thing if you want to stylistically change and enhance the shape of your face. So in my case, I'm looking in the mirror here, off to the side, and seeing that I have, my beard starts to get straggly up here. And one of my main goals is to make it look more uniform without necessarily coming down low. By edging it lower, you are reducing the amount of beard that you have below. So for every half an inch you come down, expect that your beard might be 10, 20, 30% thinner when you remove those hairs. So keep that in mind. If you want a really low beard, you are going to really eliminate the amount of hair that you have on the bottom unless you have a particularly strong neck and chin beard. So what I'm going to go in and actually do is just line up and make this edge a little straighter. You can actually see here that you can see the darker hairs are actually the hairs on my cheek, and I'm going to take those off. So you see guys pulling their cheeks up to shave it. I'm actually pulling my cheek down. You're making the skin taut so that the razor can smoothly glide over it. You can see how strong that edge got by just following my natural line. A lot of guys will have hair that'll grow up particularly far on your cheeks. So remember that, and don't be afraid to shave up further. If it's fuzz, don't worry about it. Don't shave it. Shaving the hair is not going to make it come in thicker. It might come in blunt and look stronger initially, but as the hair comes in, it'll be replaced and with new vellus hairs or new small baby hairs, and that edge will look soft again. Now I want to do the mustache. I call it out separately because a lot of guys who trim their beards every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks, monthly, may or may not trim their mustache. I think lining the cheeks, cutting the sideburns is part of routine maintenance, but the mustache is something that you can play with. If you want to grow it, you might not be trimming it as part of that evaluation process that you did before. In my case, as I said, I want to keep it shorter. So what I'm going to do, I like the tails of my mustache a little longer. Divide your mustache each side into 3 parts. I'm cutting 2 of those parts. I am leaving this part uncut in order to feather it into my beard. Same thing on the other side, not touching the bottom third, cutting the upper 2/3. So what I did was I followed my natural lip line, and remarkable difference already when you can see a bit of my upper lip as well as my teeth. And while I'm here, excuse me, I'll take grief if I don't do that. So what else can you do to your mustache? Part of the evaluation process for me is I like a mustache that is basically one length. I like as much hair touching the lip as possible, giving that strong kind of Tom Selleck look to a mustache. You may choose to actually feather in your mustache, and this is where you could use a clipper to thin it out, or in my case, what you could do, pretty short, but you could use your comb and trim off that edge also. And I'm going to keep that. Some guys who have uneven cheeks may also have an uneven line associated with their mustache. I don't. I have a little dent that actually comes down lower, and hopefully in time it'll fill in. But for the most part, with the exception of a single hair here, which I'm going to go back with my razor and take off, the upper line of my mustache is pretty even. One trick that someone once taught me is when you're done with the mustache, close your lips and smile. And you could get any stray hairs that you possibly missed. So that's it. We preconditioned, I evaluated, I took off length, I did edging, and I trimmed my mustache. What's left? What's left in my case is styling. And I think in the case of almost everyone, styling is important. You can go in with a hairdryer right now and a round brush and roll it over. What I choose to do is actually just take styling balm, take a dollop, rubbing it into the hands, and basically over the surface of my beard and also my mustache. Great thing about a product like styling balm is it's going to help stray hairs find their place within your beard and stay there. A little residue on my hands, as always, into the eyebrows. So that's it, guys. Those are the 6 steps that I use to keep my beard looking good every month. Hopefully those 6 steps will keep you looking sharp once a month, or if you choose to do this every 2 weeks or every 2 months. Hopefully that'll give you the basics that you can tackle your own beard. Until we meet again.
Hey, I'm Mark. I think that Beardbrand products and the Beardbrand mission, they've really helped me kind of wear my beard and present it to the world in a way that, honestly, for the first time in my life, like, kind of makes me feel kind of handsome. You know, sometimes. But anyway, thanks, guys.